Hello, everybody. This is Kayla with King's Advisors. And I said I wasn't going to do it, that I was going to let better people do it, that I was going to watch and just try to be a fan. But here we go. So I watched the third episode of Ahsoka last night. And I'll be honest, the first two episodes I was okay with. I wasn't a, I was a, I was very disappointed in the lightsaber stab of Sabine that she just apparently survives with just a tiny little scar. But overall, there were a lot of things that I liked. The lightsaber fighting was better than it has been in other stuff. It still wasn't awesome, but I could see I could see them trying that it almost seemed like they were aware of their faults and were taking steps to fix that. I really liked the callback to Phantom Menace. I really liked it. I liked the opening scene. I wasn't a giant fan of the crawl. I get why they did it because it's the same as Clone Wars, so a little callback to that. But then the Starfield, I liked that New Republic ship. It wasn't just a box like it's going to be in the new video game Outlaws. There were a lot of things that I liked. And so I gave that first episode a 5 because of the lightsaber stab. Honestly, until that, it was probably a 6.5. And then I gave the second episode 6.5. And even with the stab, I was kind of giving the show overall a 6.5. I was okay with what they were doing. I saw some potential. I still didn't understand why I needed to care about Thrawn. What the show should have been, and it's clearly not, is it should have been them deciding, as we saw in the third episode, they've been trying to get to go after Ezra for a while. So it should have been them going, you know what? Screw it. No more politics, no more red tape. We're just going to go get him. Take the ghost and go. And then finding out that there's a connection to the Night Sisters and finding Thrawn and all that. And so I had said, and I've said this on several streams, that Disney did not need to hit this out of the park. What they needed to do was they needed to make a show that normies and people that have watched everything, not necessarily huge Star Wars fans, but just people that had watched everything, that they enjoyed. They weren't going to hit a home run. No one thought they were capable of hitting a home run. But what they could do is hit a good ground rule double, get on base, and get us, the fan base, talking about the show, saying, in the same manner that Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon got people talking about it. They won't be able to in the same manner in any way, but they need to have people be able to discuss this show that aren't clapping seals. So, and a ground rule double would allow that. The problem is with this third episode, they've completely undone all of the, let's call it, goodwill that the first two episodes had earned. I now think this is going to be a terrible show. I think Dave Filoni doesn't understand Star Wars. I think the fact that his whole resume has been that he learned at the feet of the master is bullshit. And I think, honestly, we should just burn it all down and start over. Because not only has he taken this, Jedi are kind of like samurai and dialed it up to 10 to where we're just doing full on Japanese style training. But he's also taken the whole World War II motif and turned it all the way up to 10 to the point where we have E-Wings, I think they were E-Wings, that are quite literally World War II German Stukas. And also, when did lasers start becoming flak? They're flak guns. There are literal explosions in space, because apparently there's oxygen in space now. So I have a lot of problems with this show now. There were stuff I was willing to overlook because of being happy that I saw certain stuff. I was glad to finally hear John Williams-esque music again. We had actual strings and brass. It wasn't just little tunes like it is in The Mandalorian. But what I can say is that Ray Stevenson is clearly the best part of this show. And I've said multiple times that I was curious whether or not the hype that Ray's character is getting, Balin, is because of Ray Stevenson's passing. I was curious if there was a bias there. And I have to say there definitely is not, because he showed up for about a minute and a half in last night's episode. And the second the camera got on him, he owned the camera. It was the best minute and a half of Star Wars since chapter 16 of The Mandalorian. And it was beautifully done. He was sinister, he was commanding, and it was wonderful. But beyond that minute and a half, last night's episode was horse crap. It was a 4 at best, and I am highly disappointed. Whoever thought that that was a good way to start us off with, because let's be honest, a lot of people are going to watch the first 2 episodes and go, okay, well, it's not going to be like that. It's all downhill from here. And then they just prove it with that 3rd episode. I'm just really disappointed. I have said several times that this was going to be the show that decided whether or not Disney Star Wars could exist, could succeed. And if Dave doesn't care enough about his own creation to actually put in the effort to make a good story, then why the hell should we? Stop going home early to play with your Ahsoka Tano body pillow and actually do your damn job, Dave Filoni. As always, everybody, thank you so much. Thanks for stopping by. Please hit that like, subscribe, click the bell to get notified, and follow us on Twitter at KingsAdvisors_.